why did President Trump capture President Maduro? Majority of the conversations initially were because he was said to be involved in drugs, in narcotics, or we'll call it narco trafficking, right? Mm-hmm. Recently, we heard of the bombs.
With zero evidence, we must.
Well, they'll say that there were some ships heading to the U.S.
I mean, Maduro had nothing to do with it, and then there's no way an outboard boat it would need to refuel 80 times. If you look at the geography to get to the port of Miami or the nearest port in America. So, and they had killed over 100 people without showing evidence that they're narco terrorists. And who even said that that's extrajudicial killing? They didn't face any trial. You just go around bombing people. But that's, by the way.
So that's one. That's one of the reasons. Yeah. Now, the Venezuelans themselves have been reacting to this capture. The initial sense that we got was that there was jubilation, celebrations, as a number of them had been calling for President Trump to come into the picture. They had criticized their president of being very involved in corruption and corrupt practices. First of all, he had a 12-year term, and in this 12-year term, he decided who and who could be a part. Maria, for example, was not allowed to be a part of the last elections, where he had then said that he insisted on who could be a part of the last elections. The last elections where he emerged winner was highly contested.
And if you look at the streets of Caracas yesterday, for example, this number, the number of demonstrators that were calling for the return of Maduro and his release were a higher number than this. I wish we had footage. So if you watch CNN, if you watch BBC, if you watch Western news, they will be putting this wall-to-wall coverage of Venezuelans in exile celebrating. But if you ask the gentlemen, if you do, like BBC went to Caracas and they did Vox Pop.
Yeah.
And we're asking people, they said they're afraid that they don't like this, that this is kidnapping. I mean, Venezuela is rich. Nobody is mentioning the debilitating sanctions of the United States that's made the economy very difficult for ordinary Venezuelans. They're just demonizing Chavez and demonizing. I mean, if you look at the pre-Chavez years of Venezuela and Chavez years, the Chavez years have been the most prosperous years.
Economic
revival, and he took away the economic power from Western corporations and gave it to the people, and that's why the West is not happy with him, and they tried to assassinate him a few times. And then over the weekend too, the United States bombed his mausoleum.